Mexico.
So we're very excited to be with you in the channel, and please introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, my name is Victoria Coiner, and yes, I am from Cotowa Farms, and now I'm working with my family. It's a family business.
그리고 코토아가 굉장히 역사가 긴 걸로 알고 있어요. 그리고 4세대 동안 이어져 있고, 그래서 좀 농장에 대한 그런 소개도 같이 부탁드릴게요.
So Cotowa Farms has a long history producing coffee here in Boquete and in Panama region, and you're fourth generation now. So please, can you talk a little bit about the farms and the history of Cotowa?
So my great-grandpa, which was named Alexander Duncan McIntyre, he arrived here in Boquete around 1910, and he fell in love with the place. Boquete is a beautiful valley, and he fell in love with my great-grandma as well. So he decided to move from Canada to Boquete and then start growing coffee. So we have been growing coffee ever since. That's been over 100 years now. And yeah, really like it.
Fantastic.
그리고 이곳 때루아가 정말 신기한 것 같아요. 저는 이렇게 해가 쨍쨍한데도 약간 그 스프레이처럼 물이 내리는 이런 현상도 진짜 신기하고, 그래서 이곳의 환경과 때루아는 좀 다른 커피 산지와는 진짜 다른 것 같거든요. 그래서 그런 코토아 농장의 그런 때루아나 환경에 대해서 또 이야기를 해준다면.
So for him, it's quite interesting to be here in sunny side of the mountain and also feel like the slight spray of what it seems like it's rain, but it's not. He feels like here it's a very unique terroir and microclimate. Can you please explain a little bit about Cotowa's microclimate in this region?
Yes, of course. So right now we are at Tree Trek, but the farm name is Rio Cristal. And it's named Rio Cristal because there's a river that goes by that it's very shiny, very beautiful, and my grandma named it Cristal actually. So we are very close to the mountain range, to the continental divide, the mountain range, which gets a lot of rain from the Caribbean. So this drizzle that we see now is a phenomenon that we call here bajareke. Bajareke means this very small but not enough to be a full, rain.
Mhm.
And then because of that, we get a lot of rainbows in this area. But apart from this one, because in this farm, we actually get very little coffee from, because since it rains so much, in here we get about 10 months of rain out of 12. So this one is very different to the other farms that we got. So across the valley, we got a Duncan that it's on the Caribbean facing side of the volcano, let's say. That one is a much drier area with different types of soil, and across the volcano but in itself, not in the volcano, but in the Pacific showing side, we get Las Brujas, which again has a very different microclimate. It gets very foggy during the night, and that's why it's actually called Las Brujas, which means the witches. And
Which is it?
every single farm that we got, we actually find that these like really special microclimates, and we try to learn what it can do with our coffees.
그 5개의 농장에 대해서도 얘기를 해줬을.
Can you quickly tell all the farm names?
Sure. Rio Cristal, Finca Carolina, Duncan, Las Brujas y Silvia Marina.
저도 그 단어가 되게 인상적이었어요. 그것만 딱 들렸어요. 리오가 강이란 뜻이고, 그죠?
Yeah, that's right. So we tried quite a few amount of coffees today, and we're very happy to see all the different profiles in the coffees, especially the coffees represented a lot of the different microclimates, I think, too, but also a lot of processing and processing techniques. So can you talk a little bit about what are some of your philosophies for processing coffee and what is unique about Cotowa processing methods?
Okay, so we find and we believe that processing should be a complement to the coffee. So we wouldn't want any of our more processed coffees to be overwhelming or to be masking too much on the variety that we're trying to showcase. However, we do enjoy very much doing naturals at our farms. There's a lot of our varietals that thrive more on doing the naturals, and because it complements, it makes it more complex. But yeah, today we tried many coffees that were different because of the weather conditions that we have had this year. So we do the naturals on African beds, and then we're gonna do either different lengths of drying or different thickness on the beds. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be really dependent, like any agricultural crop, on the weather. So if we're gonna have a more cloudy weeks or days, it's gonna extend our drying periods. If we get a lot of heat, the farm at which we dry our coffees too is gonna really have an impact on the coffees. So we try to keep all the coffees on their own terroir. So the naturals, the Duncan naturals, are done at the Duncan farm on the African beds. Las Brujas naturals are done on Las Brujas at their own beds. And this is because we want all the yeast and bacteria that are on the pulp as they're being harvested to be the protagonist of the fermentation process. So we rather keep them there until they're ready to come to the house Kotowa, where we storage the coffees and cup them.
그리고 보람님 같은 경우에는 오늘 또 커핑 같이 했잖아요, 우리.
네.
예. 이번 코토와 커피는 어떤 것 같아요?
So yeah, we cupped the coffees today, and I'm gonna comment a little bit on the coffee.
Okay.
We thought it was really interesting, especially in the different varietals. I really enjoyed the first table. We had Ethiopian varietals, all natural process, really incredible texture and complexity. And then some of my favorite lots were within the washed coffee, washed geishas, and also the natural geishas. And the washed geishas were incredibly sweet for me, obviously giving a lot of the traditional geisha profile, floral, but then really, really sweet finish. So it was quite interesting to taste that level of intensity of the sweetness. And then the natural geishas were incredible because they all had very different profiles, a full range of more classic floral, clean naturals, but then more process-driven, like cherry liquor, like we were talking about the mulled wine, like spiced wine flavor, which was very interesting. Really stayed within my head when I tasted those coffees. So I think it's a mix of them having different farms and very different regions producing coffees. We visited the facilities today. We saw the stainless steel fermentation tank. We saw all the African beds, dark room, and all the drying techniques that you guys have. He was very surprised of how like high level and how precise you guys are working with processing. So the question would be, is there a signature know-how or method that Kotowa presents when processing coffee?
I think that we are more known for our naturals, but we are trying to push more for washed, as we have seen the industry taking more interest from washed, and we believe that we have a great coffee to show behind process. So we are very happy with also giving that offer. But I wouldn't say there's a right recipe, never, because every year you need to see what happened to the coffee, how it's coming out. So you need to understand, like the first crop that we do, we're always gonna do half-half, or one third to like a honey wash and natural, because we need to understand the raw product at the beginning, how it's coming, and then we can start assessing how it's gonna be. But yeah, every year is different, so we're gonna do what we can to express better the cup every year that it comes, you know?
Yeah, 진짜.
진짜 너도 깜짝 놀랐어요. 아, 그래서 맛있었던 거였군요.
연기도 잘하시네. 오케이.
좋아요. 그럼 다음 질문으로 또 이어서 가겠습니다. 빅토리아는 아마 이 영상을 보시는 분들은 알겠지만 되게 또 젊게 또 보일 것 같아요. 그래서 또 어떻게 보면은 파나마의 뭐 그런 MZ 세대이실 수도 있고, 그래서 앞으로 그런 파나마 커피의 트렌드가 또 어떨지가 궁금하거든요. 네.
Okay, so we're almost done. So the question is sort of involving what are the next few trends? Like obviously of the viewers are gonna look at you and be like, "Wow, she's a very young coffee producer, working in coffee production, and potentially the future generation of coffee production in Panama." So, what do you think, in your opinion, are the future trends for Panamanian coffees?
So Panama has always been very vanguardist on the way that we do coffee. We have always taken into account into our community what the people are doing, different types of processes, different varieties. I feel like the Panama community is very welcoming to anything that's new, and that's one of the reasons why Panama has been very in the front race in the coffee world. So I'm sure that will keep happening. We have a very joined community of young coffee producers at the moment. But anyhow, I do believe that this we can call it trend, but this thing of showcasing the terroirs of Panama on a very clean profile are gonna continue in a bit, because we have seen that the way to actually show the world what's Panama and how Panama tastes like compared to the other producing areas that exist is to actually hold back a little bit on processing and letting like the true genetic materials that we grow actually do their thing, you know? So I feel like that's gonna continue to be a trend.
And you just
이렇게 인터뷰하는 거 괜찮냐고 한번 물어봐 주실지.
are you enjoying it? I think you're doing really well.
I like it.
You're natural.
I like it. Me agrada.
새로운 쇼룸에 초대해달라고.
He's asking you to invite them when the new cupping lab is ready.
Of course. You are already invited.
So,
Already.
that's it.
You can do your video up there.
그리고 이거는 좀 갑자기 제가 궁금해서 얘기하는 건데, 그 빅토리아 같은 경우에는 진짜 커피 프로듀서가 쉽지 않잖아요. 그래서 근데 되게 정말 엄청 열정적으로 하니까 그런 커피 프로듀서를 진짜 계속 좋아하면서 열심히 하는 그런 이유 같은 게 좀 궁금.
He's quite curious because you're very young. Coffee producing is very hard, and he can see your passion in coffee production. And he's very curious what made you fall in love with it, or like what are some of the reasons why you're so passionate and you work so hard about it.
I think that growing up surrounded by coffees and in a coffee farm really bonds you to loving nature as everything, you know, not specifically coffee, but coffee is also a very interesting thing, because you know you can do a very crappy coffee or you can do a very high-end beautiful coffee from the way that you process it. So when you have to be very detailed about a product, I think is very nice, it's very important, you know, so it kind of like drives passion behind it. But apart from that is the family tradition. I think family tradition is very important. I think that more than me doing it for myself, it's also me doing it for my dad and me doing it for my kids one day, you know, to kind of like keep that alive, because like I feel very fortunate to have something, or to live in something that, to live from something that my great grandparents started to today. It feels very wholesome, so I would like that to be passed on. Yeah.
So a lot of Korean fans are gonna watch this video. You're gonna get a lot of Korean fans,
Let's hope so.
and a lot of these fans will be drinking kotoa, hopefully when they're watching this video too.
That would be nice.
So do you have any
I have chocolate. We can.
you know, chocolate?
We can.
Try kotoa chocolate too. But any last message you want to give to new kotoa fans and new Victoria fans?
That I'm very nice. You can come meet me in Panama. Everybody's welcome. We do have the new coffee room coming up, a new coffee shop. We might have even a little training station for barista if you guys wanna come train. And now that everybody's welcome.
그럼 다음에 또 더 재밌는 콘텐츠로 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
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 자, 감사합니다.
제시고